Here are three things which truly uncompromising preachers will talk about and put much emphasis on, which are also very, very unlikely to hear on Christian radio or television, and which would be very surprising to hear at a church meeting as well. One, the teaching that all who live in sin, including lukewarm Christians, will go to the fire of hell, without exceptions. You might hear many occasionally make it sound like unrepentant sin will lead a person to hell, and that calling Jesus Lord is vain if one does not do what he says. Yet they contradict themselves and blatantly say otherwise when directly addressing the issue of eternal security, since at the very heart of the theology of almost every popular preacher is belief in unconditional eternal security doctrine. When their entire message is analyzed, they are still basically telling people that they can transgress against God and not surely die, echoing the lie which the serpent told man from the beginning. 2. Faithfully and honestly exposing and rebuking ecumenicism. The radio and television preachers will not be faithful in thoroughly rebuking and exposing corrupted counterfeit Christianity. They might talk about the deception in groups which are typically labeled as heretical counterfeits by the popular realm of the mainstream, such as Jehovah's Witnesses and Mormons. They may even rebuke the Protestant churches, which are blatantly corrupted by liberalism. However, even if some go to that length, they often still will not be thorough and consistent here. They will at least likely spare rebuking some or all of the following: prosperity gospel teachers, seeker sensitive megachurches with their manifold wicked innovations, the nonsense babbling Pentecostals, and or the Roman Catholic and Eastern Orthodox churches. This is not even taking into account that those on Christian radio and television are often from a dispensationalist or Calvinist camp, or closely connected with one or both of these camps, which a person also has to rebuke and separate from in order to be faithful. 3. Rebuking and standing against the modern nation of Israel. As with the bulk of the mainstream churches, mainstream Christian radio and television stations are full of preachers waving a Bible around and saying that Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life, and nobody comes to the Father but through him, and then turning around and saying Jews are God's chosen people, which have a special covenant with God which even the Jewish nation's rejection of Jesus can't break. Is that illogical and contradictory? No doubt about it. By supporting the modern nation of Israel, Christians are simply justifying the wicked and theft, and denying the precedent God set in AD 70 that the Jewish nation is no longer his special nation due to its rejection of Jesus as the Messiah. The nation of Israel supporting Christians are also implicitly lying by portraying God as a partial respecter of persons who sides with a certain group of people, no matter what they do. That is atrocious and pathetic. Dishonorable mentions here are numerous. They include lack of preaching on biblical modesty, lack of exposing and correcting feminism's practical impact on churches, and rebuke of the popular fake Jesus image.